is actually looking behind us. That is where the really worst of the weather is. It's essentially chasing us at the moment. We're trying to make our way ahead of it enough to where once we get to the 5 o'clock newscast, we can give you some good live information about what's kind of making its way through a portion of the viewing area, especially Metro Baton Rouge. So our intention is to get up towards 409, turn south on 409 towards 37 Greenwell Springs, and head towards the Magnolia Beach Bridge, maybe head over into Livingston Parish. And what the weather's going to be like there as we move into the 5 o'clock hour. So this is you're riding around, you're looking out the rear view of our roof cam. With the weather instrumentation to keep an eye on what's going on with the weather outside. 65 degrees right now in this area, 53 for the dew point. Winds currently, looks like they're gusting almost at 30 miles per hour. So we are certainly right on the leading edge of this next line of showers and thunderstorms that's making its way through the Baton Rouge, heart of the Baton Rouge metro area right now as we speak. So you're just kind of riding along with us. The main hefty energy is just to our west, so just behind us right now. So again, that's what you're kind of looking at here with the roof cam, even though we're in the midst of the rain. So really hard to see much of it. Right now, so that we can try and give you an accurate representation of it moving into us in the tight 9 minutes away from that. We're hopeful to get in front of it, but we're right now certainly being impacted by it, as you can see with our roof cam and then also our dash cam. So Rick is kind enough to be driving very safely. We're on some backwoods, just said white knuckles that you didn't hear him. We're in the backwoods a little bit here of EBR Parish, so certainly some windy and twisty roads that we're dealing with right now, and even there was a tree limb that just was down on the side of the road. I don't know if you noticed that there. So certainly we're seeing some gusty winds that could be causing some tree limbs to come down in the area. So that's one thing that we're watching for certain. So we're continuing to kind of drive around, and we want to thank you for driving with us. Closing in on us right now, the heaviest of Baker over towards Brownsfield on the east side of EBR Parish right now as well. And we're getting sort of the Boeing effect on the southern end of it where the strongest of the winds are, and that's moving its way sort of in between EBR and Ascension Parish, between Gonzales and, say, the Gardena right now. That we may have to keep an eye on, especially between Lafayette and Lake Charles. There's one that's severe warned right now over Lake Arthur. So we're not out of the woods even with this first day through. We still can have a cluster of two of very strong storms, but it does appear as though the risk of tornadoes a little bit lower for us here as we continue. Certainly good news, but still some stronger storms embedded within the southern extent of this line that extends all the way south towards the Gulf of Mexico. So a lot more rain to kind of get through. Trying to make our way up towards those which was a picturesque scene that we had. Unfortunately, we lost our signal as we were broadcasting the show. So for those familiar with the area, we just made our right-hand turn. We're about to make another right here at 37. Greenwell Springs. So we're kind of parallel right now to the Amite River on the left-hand side of your camera shot that you see there. We're going to ride that down towards 64. We'll take our jaunt across the Amite River there and get into Livingston Parish and make our way east from there. Try and continue to stay out in front of this next line. We're kind of doing this a little bit low key, so I'm kind of doing some things as we're talking here. Looks like we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for EBR Parish. So this is essentially the storms have made their way to the edge of the previous warning area. So it's an extension of the warning that already was in existence. This one's going to include more of Livingston Parish. Alright, looks like we're coming up to a signal that's out. So possible power outages certainly not out of the question here in the area. Ooh, there's some lightning. Lots of power lines over us. I wonder what's going on. Spin our roof camera around, see if we can see what's going on.
Looks like it's an accident.
An accident, yeah. Alright, so we're coming up here, and or at least a stall.
I guess it's Hoover. No, this is Hoover.
This is Denham Road?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like we got a multi-vehicle accident here, Denham Road, at Greenwell Springs Road. So you can see traffic backed up in this particular spot. So if you're traveling northbound on 37 Greenwell Springs Road, you're going to encounter that there at Denham Road with that accident scene. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling that particular way. You're going to encounter that. Alright, so it looks like the main wave of the storms have bypassed us to the east as we're traveling southbound. Looks like we got another wave behind that. So I'll switch. So you can see where we are, where the storms have kind of made their way through. But there's this next sort of band right here that could be moving up towards the northeast behind it. Now it may not be as intense because a lot of this energy that this first wave of rain is going to take out should limit how intense it may get. So that would be good news if we could have that, but it does look pretty healthy on radar. So that's hopefully what we're going to try and intercept here as we get ready for the 5 and 6 o'clock shows here in the Titan 9 vehicle. So the details on that new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. It's for Northern Ascension Parish, Southern St. Helena Parish, Livingston Parish, East Central Iberville Parish, Southwestern Tangipahoa Parish, and Central East EBR Parish until 5:30. Line of severe thunderstorms capable of producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts and moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. So there's no way, Brick, we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna keep up with a 70 mile per hour moving line of thunderstorms as we're traveling at a top speed of 30 right now. So we'll wait this wave behind us. Try and get into Denham. See if we can beat it. What's that? Yeah. Yep. What's that?
You told us back to them, or are they still on us?
Nah, they were just doing like a live stream.
Oh, okay.
I told them it would be.
Does it take much to watch?
Alright, you can take this left up here. And then we're just going to stay on this.
Okay, we're just going straight through, right?
Yeah, that's going to avoid a lot of the congestion on range. dive south in Walker. No, turn left here. Sorry.
I'm looking in the wrong direction.
No, lights out here.
Yeah.
Take a bathroom break at my house. Say hi to my kids.
Where you live?
Walker. I figure we get to Walker, South Walker on 447, get into Ascension, and then get back to I-10 and then head back. Because we're going to have hits too, so.
Yeah, we take this all the way to Walker.
You take this all the way to Burgess, take a left on Burgess, you'll hit 447, just
That same severe weather system doing a number on some areas in our viewing area as well. First Alert Action Day. Our team has brand new updates right now. Jared Silverman here. He's tracking the system basically down to the minute. Jeff Morrow, you see him. He's riding around in Tight 9 getting a look at the conditions. And we've got Johnny Asian here pulling some extra duty to keep you safe out there on the roads. Now, this is currently what's moving through our area right now. We still have a little while before we are in the clear. Here's a live look outside if we can. And you see right there what that is doing to our weather here at 5 o'clock. Jared Silverman is here with us. Jared, let's kick things off with you.
By the way, that tornado you showed in Alabama, now that makes 3 confirmed tornado touchdowns. We had one earlier in the afternoon in Brookhaven, Mississippi. In case you're wondering, that's outside of our viewing area, but only about 75 miles to the northeast of Baton Rouge. So we've already seen that tornadoes definitely can be produced by this system. We're in the clear for just the time being, but we've got another big storm cell heading our way. Winds at 20 miles per hour, that's nothing. Just a few minutes ago, we had wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, and that triggered the severe thunderstorm warning. These storm cells are moving so quickly to the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour that these warnings, they last for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then they've got to migrate farther to the east. This severe thunderstorm warning around Hammond, that was over Baton Rouge no more than about 20 minutes ago. The big red box that you see, that is the tornado watch box that is in effect area-wide until 9 p.m. because conditions in the atmosphere are favorable for a tornado, but we have no confirmation of any tornado touchdowns in our viewing area. And the one tornado warning that we had nearby, that was in Wilkinson County, and that actually has been allowed to expire. So that is some good news. Here's Baton Rouge. There's that one cell that just moved over the area, and it was packing not only a windy punch, but filled with lightning. The lightning tracker showing thousands of lightning strikes just in this frame and just over the past hour or two. But as you look upstream, in this case down to the southwest, New Iberia, Kaplan, and Lafayette, we still have another area of heavy thunderstorms moving this way. Right now, we don't see any of the shear markers or any rotation, but watch this. At the very end of this loop, right around Crowley, you can see there's one storm cell which has shown a little bit of signs of rotation. At this point, though, we don't have any active tornado warnings. So remember, as long as we're under that watch until 9 p.m., that means the conditions are favorable. It's possible, but right now we don't have any tornado warnings in the area at this point, so that at least is some good news. Hopefully that's going to remain the case. Look at this expansive area of lightning. Probably going to see a couple of power outages briefly all the way down to the southwest on the other side of Highway 90. So it's going to take a few more hours. Now, when we take the lightning away, you can see the heavier thunderstorms with the possibility of not only strong winds, but 1 to 2 inch diameter hail is also definitely a possibility. Now we move the radar up to Simmsport, up to Woodville. This was the area earlier where we had that tornado warning. We haven't had a confirmation of any touchdown there. This area, number 5, that is high on the Storm Prediction Center's outlook. This is one of the most expansive areas of a high threat that we have seen, I would say, in several years. And by the way, the red, the moderate threat, goes all the way down to Baton Rouge and Hammond. So over the next few hours, the farther north and northeast you go, that's where you're going to be in the danger zone. The farther south you go, a slightly less chance for severe weather. Enhanced between damaging winds, tornado threats, large hail. We don't have to worry about flooding because everything is going to move through quickly. And we remind you, in case you do go under a tornado warning, the safest place to be is in an interior room in the house, on the first floor, the lowest floor, in an area with no windows and no doors to the outside world. We're going to talk more about tracking these storms when they wrap up and whether or not we might see some tornadic activity close to home. That's going to be in a few minutes.
All right, Jared Silverman there in our Weather Center. Thank you for that. Good to have you there. Also good to have Jeff Morrow out monitoring this in the Titan 9. Jeff.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, we are continuing to drive our way. We're in intercept mode. We're on our way trying to make it south so we can intercept the second wave, the second line that's going to be heading towards our area, as Jared mentioned. The first line that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning for EBR Parish, our instrumentation here in the truck. We were in between Zachary and Central when that line chased us and over top of us. We saw a wind gust with our instrumentation of 35 miles per hour. So as we drove our way through the central area, we noticed some power outages and also some down limbs. So it has certainly been very gusty winds that we have encountered. Right now, as I mentioned, we are on our way towards the south. We're currently driving our way through Denham Springs into Walker. We're going to head southbound on 447, make our way into Ascension Parish, and then hold tight and await that next wave of storms that are going to be heading towards the area. So right now, Titan 9 heading its way towards Ascension Parish. where we hope to have another update for you, especially in that 6 o'clock newscast. Johnny?
Thanks, Jeff. Great job. All right, a couple of quick bullet points for you. Number one, as I mentioned last hour, and it happened, the Plaquemine Sunshine Ferry Boat is out of service due to this bad weather, and it will be out of service until this system passes through. Number two, among all of the crashes that are out and about that we've seen, too numerous to mention in one report, we do have a report of a tree down and a tree on a vehicle, Jefferson at Stumberg, and a power line down in that area. Jeff mentioned possible power outages. If you come upon an intersection where the lights are completely out, four-way stop it. Look behind me at our grid. I want to pull two of these cameras out front and kind of show you real quickly some of your traffic. You can see lightning on a lot of these cameras. This first camera shot I'm going to show you is I-12 at Essen Lane heading outbound toward Denham, and our second camera shot real quick between Sherwood and Millerville. That's I-12 right over the Jones Creek Road area, and the bridge traffic has gotten a little bit better. We'll look at that and LA1 in just a couple of seconds when we come back on. Now back to Greg.
All right, Johnny, many thanks. Pull out your phone if you've got it with you. The WAFB weather app, it's really easy to get. It is free. So if you open up your phone and put it on your camera, literally you can take it right now as I speak. Just go over there in that left-hand side. We call it a QR code, little black and white thing. You just click on it with your camera and immediately it will take you right to the 9 News app with the weather app, so you can download it. It is free and very helpful to have with you. It gives you hour-by-hour radar. You can see it right there as we move through this storm. Hey, Entergy says they are preparing to respond in case of widespread power outages. The company says they are assembling and organizing the workforce needed to safely and quickly restore service to customers. Entergy says if you lose power, see a down power line, or need to report a problem, you can call this number, 1-800-9-OUTAGE. Very easy to remember, 1-800-9-OUTAGE. You can also do that on their app. You'll have some extra time to pay those electricity bills that racked up during the winter storm. We learned this today.
We're working on with the companies to make sure that these people, the people that have an extremely high bill, are able to spread the bill out. They don't have to pay for it all at one time. We're going to make sure the companies are as lenient as they can be. Some people have a bill of $500, $600, maybe as much as $800. Give them time to pay for it.
Today, the Public Service Commission told all of the state's utility companies to spread out that high cost of the winter heating bills. As you heard Foster Campbell there say, customers will have about 6 to 12 months they're estimating to pay for just that February freeze. This weather is putting the brakes on many of your St. Patrick's Day celebration plans this evening, but you still have a little bit of time if you're heading out for some green beer. But before you do, please make sure you have a plan in place of how you're going to get home. This is according to Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They say St. Patty's Day is the 3rd most dangerous holiday for drunk driving wrecks. The folks over at MAD suggest having a designated driver, or even use an Uber or Lyft to get home. And while this will, of course, make sure you get home safely, it's also for the safety of everyone else on the road.
Just think, don't think about your good time that you want to have. Don't think about, oh, I can drive, it's okay. You have to think about who else is on that road and what other people are also doing on that road.
Tonight at 6, hear from that family. They are still dealing with the consequences of a very bad decision by another driver who got behind the wheel drunk. We have brand new information about a major drug raid that happened across 2 parishes this afternoon. Take a look. This is the first look at what investigators with the East Baton Rouge and Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office seized. They pulled illegal drugs, they say, worth tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of marijuana plants, guns, and all sorts of things out of 4 different facilities to date. In addition to this, we now know that 5 people are in custody. A look at them there.
The investigation has been jointly going on now for quite some time. We had people under surveillance and so forth and so on. We were able to obtain search warrants, and we hit places in the Livingston and in East Baton Rouge Parish.
Sheriff Sid Gocho there alongside the Livingston Parish Sheriff Jason R. The largest raid happened at a warehouse right here in the heart of Baton Rouge. We're going to take you inside this investigation coming up at 6 o'clock. We're hearing 10,000 lives lost in Louisiana due to complications from COVID-19, and FEMA plans to reimburse families for funeral expenses. The agency has $2 billion for reimbursements for funeral expenses incurred between January 20th and December 31st, just about all of last year. FEMA will release final guidance to potential applicants soon and encourages those who have COVID-19 funeral expenses to gather and keep their documentation. There are more vaccine events to meet the demand. Ochsner, Baton Rouge, says it will hold a vaccination clinic this Saturday. Ochsner says it has more than 1,000 Pfizer doses available. Appointments are required. You can call or visit Ochsner's website for more details on exactly how to set up that appointment. The Lane Regional Medical Center in Zachary is going to host a 4-day drive-through vaccination event. It starts on March 25th. And ends on the 31st. There are 2,400 COVID vaccines waiting for eligible people. You'll just need your ID, proof of eligibility, and some paperwork required by Lane Regional. Keep in mind that proof of eligibility can be taken right off the state's website. You don't have to have anything from your doctor. Their website is there on your screen as well, lanermc.org. lanermc.org. That's where you can schedule your appointment. Johnny Asian.
This doesn't look good, but it's whoops, we flipped over. This is, Jared's going to tell us about that in just a second, but it is affecting your traffic. The Plaquemine Sunshine Ferry Boat out of service right now because of the bad weather. Jared?
Those are severe thunderstorms that we are tracking, and they are very dangerous. We have a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. No active tornado warnings at this point. That's good news, but we'll see if that remains the case. We've already seen wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour right here in Baton Rouge, and the potential to get even higher than that. We're going to talk more about this and track this system coming up.
We'll also have some more on some free tax advice out there that's going to help you avoid some costly mistakes. We know your taxes are very different this year. We'll have all that for you coming up.
Series of You guys could flip it for me in the control room. We'll show you the grid, and you can see still a lot of shaking on some of our cameras, but the bridge traffic seems to be moving a little bit better right now. That's I-10 at LA1 in Port Allen, and that's on the Port Allen side of the I-10 bridge. A couple of reminders: we have power outages in and around the area. Some trees and down. We also have a tree down on a vehicle at Jefferson at Stumberg, and very important for folks in Iberville Parish. No ferry this afternoon. Right now, it's still temporarily shut down. 5:14. Now to Jared Silverman. To Jeff Morrow in Titan 9. Jeff.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny. We are driving southbound on LA 447 in the Walker area. You can see very heavy rainfall right now. We've intercepted sort of the southern edge of that line of severe thunderstorms that moved through EBR Parish and is now making its way through Livingston. Let me show you with our First Alert weather app. It's hard to see because we're in a moving vehicle, but that's what it looks like on radar. We're the blue dot there in the center, and we're going to try and intercept this activity right over here in Ascension Parish. So that's our next move as we head that way, and we'll have a full report for you at 6.
Silverman with your First Alert forecast.
Good evening to you once again from the First Alert Weather Center, tracking another round of storms that are moving right overhead in Baton Rouge as we speak, as the tornado watch continues. A look outside on Sky 9, Our Lady of the Lake. You already see the visibility dropping off. Winds are sustained at 20, but we have already seen wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour. So in the First Alert Weather Center, here's what we're monitoring. First, the tornado watch box, which is in effect from now until 9 p.m. Then what you see right here in between Baton Rouge and Hammond, that is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is in effect for about the next 20 or 30 minutes. Then it should be allowed to expire. Getting a look at the back edge of that storm system, which, by the way, has already cleared through Alexandria all the way back down to Lake Charles, which bodes well. That means it's not going to linger. We don't have to worry about any kind of flood threat or anything like that. Zoomed into Baton Rouge, and now we've got the lightning strikes up there. You can see there are copious amounts of lightning. We're talking about thousands of strikes of lightning just in this frame and just over the past hour or two. So that's the other reason why we tell people to stay indoors. And you can see down to the southwest, that's where a lot of the trouble is coming from. In between Opelousas and Lafayette, at the very end of this loop, you'll see this one little blip, but that one blip was showing signs of rotation. So even a smaller sized cell can cause quite a bit of damage. Anything in red is not only producing heavy downpours, but even 1 to 2 inch diameter hail is definitely a possibility. The lightning is expansive. It goes all the way back down over to the south of Abbeville and then right out to sea. So here we are in the city and we're getting that next round, but all of this activity is moving more to the northeast rather than directly to the east. Anytime you look all the way down there on the radar, you see a little bit of that purple mixed in right off the Gulf Coast. Anytime you see the color purple on this radar, usually that is indicative of 1 to 2 inch diameter hail and wind speeds that could be in excess of 60 miles per hour. By the way, here is that high threat on the storm prediction outlook, and that is very expansive. In years, you don't really see something that covers that much real estate. Baton Rouge back over to Hammond. We are right on the cusp between those two categories, moderate to the north, down to the south enhanced. So the name of the game, the farther north you go of the I-10 and I-12 corridor, that's where you're going to see more than an enhanced risk. Here in Baton Rouge, damaging winds, tornado threat, large hail, but not so much rain. We don't have to worry about any kind of flood threat. We don't have any active tornado warnings, but we've already seen about 3 or so confirmed tornado touchdowns, mainly up in the state of Mississippi, but not that far away. We had a tornado warning in our viewing area earlier around Point Capee and Wilkinson. Those have been allowed to expire. We don't have any confirmation of whether or not a tornado touched down, but if a tornado warning should pop up in your area, we remind you to stay on the first floor in the smallest room possible. You want to be in a small bathroom or closet. The name is just get away from any windows. If you don't have any windows, that's a good thing. What you see here, everything that is a north and south running hash mark, all of those hash marks tell us that there is a percentage chance of 10% or more of getting a tornado within any kind of 25-mile radius. And Baton Rouge, by the way, is in that area. We could see as much as an EF2 tornado, which, by the way, we would see winds in excess of 75 miles per hour. That, of course, at hurricane strength. The farther north you go, that percentage goes up, and it goes up substantially. There's that moderate threat. Now, technically, we put it through 7 a.m., but really, that threat is going to go away, I would say, at about 9 p.m. Probably after that point, will start to clear out. The farther south you go, only a 5% chance of a tornado touchdown between Morgan City, Houma, going on over to New Iberia. The risk levels have been really elevated here. Numerous severe thunderstorms are possible over the next couple of hours, and thereafter will start to clear out. So the timing of this system, this is as of about 5 p.m. As we march forward a little bit, at 8 p.m. it shows the back edge starting to nudge its way out of here, and then after that point, everything clears out. Cold front rips on through, and that is drastically going to drop our temperatures. We've been living in the 80s for a big part of the past few weeks, and as we're knocking on the door of the beginning of spring, go figure, we're going to see those temperatures drop noticeably in the wake of this front. Not expecting that much additional rainfall. I'd say 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. The forward speed of these storms going to whip up the winds, but it's going to limit the amount of rain that we get. So that's the one good thing. We don't have to worry about flooding out of this situation. Then after this, we've got really no chance of rain for several days, and then we'll walk up the steps Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday later in the 10-day forecast. But the next few days, once we get rid of this system, we're definitely going to dry things out. Let's talk about the percentage chance of rain. It's going to be really high over the next couple of hours, 70% at 7 p.m. But watch what happens. As soon as we get to 8 p.m., we're going to start to taper that all the way down. By 10 p.m., it basically shuts off and goes to zero. Check out the low by daybreak tomorrow, 50 degrees. That's actually considerably cooler than we have been. And here's the payoff. You know this is how it goes in weather. When you get really bad severe weather, usually the next day, you get some semblance of a payoff. That would be tomorrow with lots of sunshine and highs only in the 60s. So this is definitely a cool down. We're talking about a couple of nights with low temperatures in the 40s, which is definitely much colder than we have been. And wouldn't you know it, that's how we begin spring next weekend. And then the chances of rain later in the 10-day. We're going to keep you updated on WAFB both on air and online. Stay tuned. More coming up.